Hello and welcome to Watching Worst Films, where we are presenting our first ever Razzie nominations preview show. So ordinarily, this is the podcast where I, Jericho Reed, and my co-host Kyle Szymanski will be watching every Razzie Worst Picture winner. But as the nominations were announced to you, the world, yesterday, we are going to be bringing you our up-to-the-minute coverage on this year's Razzies. The first one we're live for. It's a big event. Kyle, you hyped?
I am hyped. 2022 is better than 21, I guess, or the pandemic years. We've got some bigger busts and more, bigger failures to look forward to. So yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah, so this is going to be a two-part episode. So we are recording this first half now before the nominations are announced. So we're going to try and predict them, and then we're going to bring you the second half where we will analyse Mr. Razzie's actual nominations.
Mm-hmm.
So just to let you in the secret, we could have cheated with this because you discovered that there's the long list that's out.
The long list for voting for members, but I've not used it. I've gone by
No, me neither.
Common sense and kind of thinking like, I said to you, what would a useless hack think like? If I was a washed up Hollywood nobody, who would I dunk on? So there's a few categories I think I've got nailed down and fleshed out. There's a few that are quite thin for me because I didn't see a lot of bad films in 22. A lot of good films, but it's not 1994, so I'm not watching the bottom of the barrel. So, but I'm confident. Yeah. I'm confident.
So, is this where we get all conspiracy brained for a moment? Because we haven't really spoken about the structure of the Razzie Academy, but you can subscribe to join the Razzies and get voting privileges. But you have your conspiracy theory that that's all like it's like a Banana Republic, like Mr. Razzie's votes are weighted heavier than the entire rest of the Academy.
As we started this journey, is realizing how small a following I guess the Razzies have. Just like not just social media and things, but like they're not relevant anymore. It's not 2004 anymore. I think they lost a lot of any goodwill with the Bruce Willis dunking and stuff on him. So rightfully so, so I do think that
stay away from our Bruno.
There's a small, it's like a chair, it's like Succession or something. Everyone gets a vote, but only the head, Mr. Razzie, really matters. He's always going to push for certain things, I think that's become very obvious in the last decade of winners and stuff, and yeah. I think it's a sham. It's a conspiracy.
Okay, let's get into it.
Yeah.
So, will we build up to the big one? Let's end on worst picture.
Okay, no problem.
Worst director. So number 1, Daniel Espinosa for Morbius.
Is this the winner? Yeah.
I haven't gone for winners.
Okay, I've bolded who I think's going to win. I've got my nominations, but I've got certain ones I think are going to win. But yeah, I have Daniel Espinosa as a nomination, but not a winner.
Oh, interesting. I think he's gonna win. I think this is gonna be the year of Morbius sweep.
Okay. Fair.
We've spoken about him at length on the Morbius special. Well, not really him, but the film. The film I think is kind of perfectly serviceable as like a proto Marvel movie from 2004. Like it's just Daredevil, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean we said on that episode, I understand why it will win. It probably is more deserving than what I think's gonna win, but I'm trying to get in the mind of Mr. Razzie, but yeah, he's nominated for me. It's a serviceable film though. It's not the worst.
And then 2, I have Robert Davi for My Son Hunter.
I don't have Robert Davi because My Son Hunter is not eligible in my head.
Okay.
I'm still being a stickler for that. I also think we were the only 2 people to watch it. So it's not going to be as dunk, it's not going to trend and be as clickbaity. It's there's the bottom of the barrel and then there's below the barrel. I've got no My Son Hunters.
Okay, Gina Carano I think has a lot of cultural cachet, but I do wonder to what extent are people in the US aware of Lawrence Fox?
Yeah, exactly.
But Robert Davi having previous with the Razzies, with Showgirls and Expendables and so on, I feel like Mr. Razzie's probably got him on the radar somewhat.
That's absolutely fine.
3, this is me getting into Mindhunter mode. Olivia Wilde for Don't Worry, Darling.
Yeah, I've got her nominated as well.
Like,
I've not seen the film either. This is just in his mindset. I know the backlash about it. I have no intention of seeing it. It's just not my scene. But
yeah.
I think just even the negative publicity that was surrounding her in Florence and stuff. Yeah, dead certain for nomination.
As soon as there was the spit gate, as soon as there was the Miss Flo, Mr. Razzie's eyes were lighting up. So yeah, I haven't quite made my mind up on Don't Worry, Darling. Like, it's an absolute mess. Some things work better than others, but like, yeah, it probably is a deserved nomination. Despite the fact that I absolutely loved Booksmart and was raving about like, Olivia Wilde is the new Orson Welles. This is the
can't always be hits.
Okay, and 4, I would bet my life on this one. Andrew Dominic for Blonde.
Yep, got him nominated, and this is my one because I love Dominic.
Yeah.
I love Assassination. I love the Nick Cave's work. I just think he's a great director.
Yeah,
but I have not seen Blonde, so maybe I'm wrong.
I am the biggest fan of Andrew Dominic in the world, but I haven't seen the film. It's been on Netflix for 6 months.
It's a Netflix film, so I was kind of hesitant to put on, but I'm sure Blonde's going to be heavily featured.
He's going to go
nominations.
Hard for Blonde.
It's not going to win, but it'll be nominated throughout.
Yeah, so same as you. Maybe less of an overall Dominic fan. Like, I love Jesse James. I like Killing Them Softly, Chopper, and the Nick Cave
Chopper
stuff. But Assassination's like one of my favorite films of all time. So big Dominic fans over here. And it's going to be really sad when Mr. Razzie goes for him on the basis of a creative film that takes some swings. And then 5, I have Roland Emmerich for Moonfall.
Okay, I've not seen Moonfall. I've seen the advert for Moonfall, but I don't have him here. I have 2 other ones that have been missing from your ones, but you can go explain them. Have you seen Moonfall?
I have seen Moonfall. Just to fill in for listeners who may not be aware of Moonfall, Moonfall is a movie in which the moon falls. It's Roland Emmerich in classic disaster movie, like possibly the dumbest movie he's ever made. And Samuel Tarley from Game of Thrones and a crack team of Halle Berry and a bunch of people. Is it Patrick Wilson?
Oh, that
I can't
fun.
remember. Yeah, they send some people to go to the moon because they're like, the moon's going to fall into the earth and this is not good. And then, do you mind if I spoil Moonfall?
Yeah, no, go ahead. Spoilers.
The moon
for
is sentient. Yeah, the moon is sentient.
Okay.
Like, the moon's intentionally crashing into Earth, or the moon is hollow and it's being flown by aliens into Earth. They're inside the moon, and it gets a bit interstellar-y. It's incredibly dumb. And it's one of those things, like, you know how, like, Oscar winners that get released, like, too early in the year, like, people worried about, like, Everything Everywhere All at Once as momentum, because it came out, like, outside awards season.
Yeah.
Moonfall's a bit like that in that it was out in February or so.
It does. I feel because I remember seeing the trailer and stuff, but it feels like an eternity ago. It feels like
there was a bus stop,
the Green Knight or something.
Yeah, there was a bus stop right by your house that felt like it had a Moonfall
That's what it
poster.
was. I think it's still there. Yeah, backwards. Yeah, I forgot the backwards one. I forgot about that.
Okay, so hit me with your 2 others.
Okay, so this one is based off. I think it's gonna get nominations because I remember when it came out and I remember the reviews. I've got David Russell for Amsterdam.
That's
which everyone said was over the place and poorly directed. I've not seen it, but I remember those reviews.
It's a mess.
But I have the winner here.
And he's a terrible person. So
yeah, so
Mr. Razzie feels about that. Yeah.
So I have a winner here that is going to be Robert Zemeckis for Pinocchio.
Oh,
and I think I've seen Pinocchio. It's the first one I've seen. I actually watched it after Del Toro's just because I had to. You have to have that comparison. I don't think Zemeckis. I don't think it's that. I mean, it's a grim, depressing remake of a beloved film, but it's not the worst one I've seen. But I think just on name value, Zemeckis is going to bring one home here because I don't think he's won a Razzie before, and I think he's gonna. I'm thinking like Mr. Razzie. I'm going with Zemeckis.
I don't think he has won one before, but like The Witches, certainly. Anne Hathaway is nominated for The Witches. Zemeckis has been off the boil for like a little while.
A long time for me, but
yeah.
I just think I think Pinocchio is gonna do well this year.
Yeah,
So Zemeckis is my winner.
I don't disagree. And so I guess if you haven't filled in your other ones, no point in going through notable mentions. Other ones
No.
I considered as like, is he gonna go for Baz Luhrmann? Is he gonna take a big swing off like, how Mr. Razzie always does that, like pick something that's quite good or universally.
Yeah. Well, I have them in other categories a little bit. The only one I kind of thought about was Colin Trevorrow for Jurassic World.
Oh yeah, yeah, you mentioned him
Um,
before, yeah.
think he could pop up, but I think the film will pop up. I think Huey will get a pass.
Interesting.
Just got a feeling.
Okay, so on to worst actor. So my first one, Jared Leto, Dr. Michael Morbius in Morbius.
Yep, same winner. Spoke about it at length, but I don't think it's a great performance. I don't like Leto as an actor.
Yeah.
I don't like Morbius, so I mean it's fair. It's not the worst performance, but I think it'll win.
That's pretty much the same for me. I don't think that I agree. I find Jared Leto a kind of unlikable guy because he's potentially a pedophile cult leader. But I of his
Allegedly.
performances, yeah, of his performances, Dr. Michael Morbius is just one of the most middle of the road. Like
hmm
Joker is his Razzie-worthy turn.
Yes, absolutely, 100%. Or Blade Runner as well.
Oh yeah, he's
Full
the
of,
worst thing about that film.
he's the only bad
Um,
thing about that film.
exactly. Especially when you hear that David Bowie was like it was written for David
hmm
Bowie, and you're like, oh, he would have crushed that part.
Yep,
Instead, we have Jared Leto for some reason.
the second best musician available.
And then I have Lawrence Fox playing My Son Hunter in My Son Hunter, who he's worse than Jared Leto, but he's a smaller name.
hmm
And he's not Hunter Biden at all. He's
No,
too smug, he's too low energy,
yeah,
he's
it's
too.
just like we've said it before on the My Son Hunter episode. I don't have him nominated for, like I said before,
Yeah,
but I agree with you
eligibility.
100%.
And then I have Mark Wahlberg, Marky Mark, as Father Stew in Father Stew.
Never heard of it. No, any good?
No, I forgot that was going to be one of my other notable mentions for director is Mel Gibson's like 25-year-old girlfriend directed Father Stew.
Okay.
And, Father Stew is the one where Mark Wahlberg is like a boxer who finds religion and becomes a father,
Okay.
like a priest, and it's just like it fucking sucks, because we have that notorious thing where like Mark Wahlberg is Christian and like disowned Boogie Nights is like, oh,
hmm
just not a godly film. It's like, you fucking idiot, this is the best thing that you're ever going to do in your career and you've disowned it. So you can make
Fair.
Father Stew. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, Father Stew is awful. Mark Wahlberg isn't good, but Father Stew is a low even for him.
Yeah, not a problem.
And then I have Dwayne The Rock Johnson as Teth Adam in Black Adam.
Okay. I've not seen Black Adam. I have no intention to. I assume he's just the Rock in it though, as he is in everything.
It's interesting because he's doing something a little bit different. Like, he's not quite as, like, he's a bit more stoic and a bit more turned down. And you wonder almost like, is he trying to do like an RNA, like,
hmm
gravity, like, in Terminator, where RNA is just like a sort of physical. You get the sense that The Rock is trying to do something, or he's trying to tone himself down to simmer, as opposed to the big, like he only does the sort of big people's eyebrow thing in
Yeah.
the end. Um,
The money
uh,
shot.
yeah. Whereas he seems to be doing a more physical sort of stoic performance, and it's just
Yeah.
like, this is boring. He
No,
is not charismatic enough to do this.
absolutely fair.
And I think he's just a big target for that
He
movie,
is.
given that it
I
was a
kind of feel.
flop in his creative
I
accounting.
Yeah, I think Black Adam's gonna escape because of Morbius. That's my
Hmm.
feeling on this. I don't think
Yeah.
they'll double down and have. I know it's Marvel and DC or whatever the fuck, but
Yeah.
I don't think. I think Black Adam will escape and be
You could be
forgotten about.
right. You could be right. And then I have, this is the only one I've not seen either of, Liam Neeson in Blacklight and Memory.
I don't have that either. I have Liam Neeson in another category, but not these two. Um, so yeah, I've got another four.
Worst performance by Liam Neeson in a 2022 role.
Worst Liam Neeson role in a Liam Neeson film. So I have four here that I've not seen that I was basing off
Okay.
of reaction. I have Zac Efron in Firestarter, which is meant to be
Okay, yeah,
terrible. No idea. I just know he's in it, and I think it's a name that's
yeah,
going to be here. I have
yeah,
Ben Affleck in Deep Water,
yeah. I was tempted for that.
which was notoriously, talked about and how poor performance and the blank gaze, he just stares through the screen.
And we know Mr. Razzie loves erotic thrillers.
Exactly. Well, that's what I was thinking. I was like, Deep Water's going to pop up here. I have Harry Styles for Don't Worry, Darling. Again, I just think this is going to be nominated throughout. And Harry got quite a lot of the brunt of the criticism. So, especially after Spitgate, I think he's going to be in there for Worst Actor. And as it breaks my heart to say this, I have Sylvester Stallone in Samaritan, which isn't eligible because it's a fucking Amazon movie that no one's seen. And it's
Yeah.
okay. I haven't finished it. I've only watched half of it. But
Okay,
it's
if you haven't finished it, it's very much
no,
not
no.
okay.
Just for context, I'm in the process of moving, and I had it on, and I had to stop it. It is
You've had 6 months to
it,
watch
it's
this.
it's it's Rocky Six meets Hancock or whatever that
Yeah,
Will Smith
Will
one.
Smith superhero one.
It's
Yeah.
the grim superhero that's been done to death. It's
Yeah,
Stallone playing like he's played. It is like Creed, Last
yeah.
Rambo performances. This, like you say, stoic. I don't think it deserves it at all, but I know Stallone's going to get a nomination. I feel it in my heart and I hate it.
um, okay, moving on. Worst actress: Anna
Hmm.
de Armas for Blonde and Deepwater.
Yeah,
This
that's
is
my winner.
another bet the house because
Mhm.
Blonde. Lots of people didn't like Blonde, and Mr. Razzie is a hack who hates creativity, so he's obviously going to take against Blonde. And then Deepwater,
It's just to
she's
secure
too
the
much of a
winner.
target.
Yeah,
Yeah,
if you've got
it's
two, then you're done. You're winning. It's a
blood in
Lindsay
the
Lohan.
water. He's a
Yeah,
shark. He can, yeah.
yeah.
And then I have a movie that we spoke about, which I spoke to you about it like 10 minutes into the movie. I think I sent you a text. My views changed by the end, but nevertheless, Mr. Razzie's going to go for it. Amy Adams and Disenchanted.
Okay, good shout, good shout. Yeah, I've seen Enchanted, but I've not seen Disenchanted, so it should work. And you know my feelings on Amy Adams. I'm
Yeah.
not a fan,
Well, we
not a
all love
fan at all.
Enchanted. Enchanted is one of the best performances of the 21st century, but I sent you a text within 10 minutes of Disenchanted being like, oh no, I might be boarding the Amy Adams hate train. I might have been like gagged and thrown aboard the train against my will because I was like, she's not good in this.
No.
But interestingly, so they kind of do something where she becomes the evil stepmother in Disenchanted, and it's about
Okay.
her like it's almost like a Joseph Campbell type thing of
Hmm.
like she then becomes like the archetypical like it's a bit Last Jedi, so you probably won't like it because you're a sexist. But and you'll be like, that's not my Amy Adams. My Amy Adams from Enchanted would never live on an
My
island and cut
Man of
herself
Steel,
off from
Amy
the
Adams.
forest. um, but so she's terrible at doing the princess thing. She's not good when she's doing that. But when she gets to ham it up as the evil stepmother, or more interestingly, when she gets to like be the evil stepmother and then flip between the oh no, what did I say? Oh, that's not me. Oh,
Yeah.
I'm turning into. She is quite good at that.
Okay.
So, but nevertheless, I think Mr. Razzie's like a dog with a bone, and I think she's become like a target post
No,
Hillbilly Elegy, post Dear Evan Hansen, and I
absolutely.
think Mr. Razzie will go for her. Speaking of which, I haven't seen this, but an old nemesis of his, Lindsay Lohan, Falling for Christmas.
Oh yeah. So I did actually think about this one just because we were talking about it and I seen the reception on it. It is a Netflix film or whatever, some streaming. I can't count it. I've not seen it either, but no, it's not eligible for me.
And then continuing on that note, so this is for me trying to think like Mr. Razzie, where a thing that he does regularly is category fraud, particularly with women. He doesn't seem to
Yeah.
have any idea what is a leading or supporting performance.
Yeah.
So I put in Gina Carano for My Son Hunter
Okay.
because she's not a
Uh,
lead, but
okay. Well, I agree with you, and he is notorious. We've talked about this before. Him doing it. I have her in both categories because I've not seen the film, so I don't know her role in it. I have Olivia Wilde as well for worst actress / worst supporting actress nomination
Yeah.
because I don't know where she's going to land, but I imagine she'll probably win it.
Oh, wow.
No, sorry, she'll probably nominate. Sorry.
Yeah.
My winner is Anna, yeah, for Blonde and Deepwater.
And my final one, which I've not seen, is Ashley Greene in Wrong Place.
No comment.
She acts in that opposite Bruno. And so that's why I was like, Mr. Razzie's going to be like, I can't nominate Bruce. The people won't let me nominate Bruce. So I'm going to do the closest thing to...
I have Bryce Dallas Howard
Okay,
for Jurassic World. I haven't seen Dominion, but I had seen the previous two. I don't mind Bryce at all. I think she's a fine actress or whatever, but she does sleepwalk through them, and obviously with no chemistry with Chris Pratt in a Jurassic World film, they're not great performances, and I just thinking in the name value as well, like it would probably be a nomination.
Yeah, you're probably right. Okay, moving on. Worst supporting actor.
Mm-hmm.
This is where I have him, Harry Styles, because I think it's another one where like it's kind of the distinction between supporting and lead. I think Mr. Razzie's going to put him in supporting just because he's not going to beat Dr. Michael Morbius, but he does have a chance of winning supporting. So I reckon he might downsize him to that.
Okay, no, that's fair.
Yeah, and for what it's worth, he was dreadful in the little clips where he's like, "You can't say no to this opportunity. We've been given something, and you're going to put it all at risk." Within the context of the film, he is a bit better, and I don't even think it's a bad performance.
No, that's fair.
But yeah, as a celebrity, cross drawn on him, Mr. Razzie's going to be out for blood. And then I have John David Washington for Amsterdam, who, my God, he is bad.
So, so on the Amsterdam, again, not seen it myself, I seen how fucking big the cast was.
Yeah.
I was like, everyone could be like, could I just nominate? So I have that. I have any cameo / guest appearance from Amsterdam, just to cover all my bases. Someone's getting nominated, and I don't know who's leading. I don't know who's supporting. I don't know who's a cameo. So
is Mike Myers in Amsterdam?
Yeah. Everyone's in it. So like, I just covered my bases.
I was trying to remember. I was like, is that Inglourious Bastards or is that Amsterdam? But I was like, I could swear Mike Myers in Amsterdam. And then I have Henry Cavill in Black Adam.
Okay.
Just because it's a 2-second cameo, but like Mr. Razzie can't resist kicking a man when he's down, so I think he's going to be like, ha 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 ha, look at this. Henry Cavill's Death of Superman. And then another one I'm relatively confident of here, Tom Hanks, Pinocchio, and Elvis.
Yeah. Oh, well, I haven't gotten from Elvis. I forgot. I just remember his meme and stuff. And I know his notoriousness from it. I forgot about Elvis completely. But Tom Hanks in Pinocchio is my winner for that. And I honestly didn't think it was that bad. I have more problems with the film Pinocchio. It's not, again, like I said, it's not the worst. And he looks the part, at least. He's maybe overacting. He's maybe a campy, but it's a CGI remake of Pinocchio, so whatever. No, I don't think it deserves a winner, but I think it's gonna win.
Pinocchio's infinitely worse than Tom Hanks in Pinocchio. Like I like Joseph Gordon-Levitt doing that old timey like, "Hey pal, it's me, Jiminy Cricket, your conscience." And I think he's actually really good delivering that kind of like classic Hollywood voice performance.
I shouldn't have watched it so close to Del Toro. I shouldn't have watched it after Del Toro's. That was a big mistake.
You watch Pauly Shore as the I should
have set the bar. That's what I should have done. But I didn't. So I also have a couple of ones here that you've missed.
Oh, I've got one final one.
Sorry. Continue.
Jim Carrey, Sonic the Hedgehog 2.
He's having fun.
Don't get me wrong. I think he's great. I just know Mr. Razzie doesn't like him.
No, okay. I can see that though. So my nominations that have been missed, I have Matt Smith and Jared Harris from Morbius.
Okay, yeah.
I think Matt Smith. I mean, I love Harris. He's one of my favorite actors. Yeah. Like, I do not think he deserves it in the slightest. But if we're dunking on Morbius, he's gonna get it. I don't mind Matt Smith. I'm hot and cold on him sometimes. It depends on the film and the director and everything. but he is pretty bad in Morbius. So
Yeah.
he's probably my winner in if I was doing it. But
Hmm.
Tom Hanks is going to win it. And lastly, I have Army Hammer from Death on the Nile because he's a
Oh.
cannibal, and I'm thinking what's going to get a clickbait, what's going to get him out of hiding. You know, is the Razzie
Yeah.
nomination. Um, so that's just for that relevancy alone. That's why he's there.
Nice little piece of desk flotsam and jetsam for his desk in the Cayman Islands. If
Yeah,
he's only
exactly.
selling timeshares, he could just have his little Razzie. Okay, so I can't remember why I didn't go for Army Hammer, but worst supporting actress, I have Gal Gadot, Death on the Nile.
She's my
That's my
winner.
first one.
Yeah, she's my
Yeah.
winner. Straight away, I think Godot d- doesn't deserve it all the time, but she needs a Razzie because Mr. Razzie needs to strike on her now. Basically, he needs to get her. Yeah, Gal Gadot's she's my winner by a mile. I'll be mighty surprised if she doesn't win.
Okay, so in my trying to think of Mr. Razzie trying to get inside his head, inhabit the Razzie mindset, I was like, there's going to be something which is universally good, and he just voting against it. So it's like, will he nominate Mia Goth for Pearl and X just because I can see him not
Hmm.
liking it and because there are two performances? But I think this was the one I ended up going for, Nicole Kidman in The Northman.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I strongly disagree.
Yeah, don't get me wrong, I love it,
Love
but
it, love her performance, but that is a good shout. Yeah, no, I can understand that in the eyes of Mr. Razzie.
and then I have another of his favorites, Ruby Rose in One Up. I haven't seen it, but Ruby Rose
No.
made a film last year, so um, and then similarly, Vanessa Redgrave in The Lost Girls. She seems like a sort of aging, like it's Elizabeth Taylor Flintstones thing, isn't it? Is like
Hmm.
a Hollywood legend, and Mr. Razzie's just waiting to get stuck in with his claws.
That's exactly it.
And then final nomination, Adria Arjona for Morbius. That was the woman who you couldn't remember the name of.
Absolutely. Yeah, she's in my list as well.
Dr. Michaela Morbius.
I don't. I forgot. I forgot. I was. You know, when I was thinking back, I was like, I couldn't remember her character. I'd forgotten so
Yeah,
much of
no.
Morbius, and I was just like, there was a female in it, and it wasn't Carano. Like, so who am I thinking of? So on the big name that I think will get supporting actress is Laura Dern for Jurassic World.
Oh, yeah,
It's
good shout.
barely a cameo, but it is, it's meant to be a phoned in, sleepwalking performance because obviously
It
it's
is, yeah.
it's, it's for the paycheck and to hang out with Sam Neill and.
She's more coherent in that weird clip where she's speaking about Baby Yoda, seeing
Hmm.
Baby Yoda at the Lakers game or whatever it was.
So I thought she'd be a shoe in there, and I think that's pretty much the only one I had because every other one I was like, I don't know if again it's that line of supporting and lead-in roles as well.
And then we have worst screen combo, Jared Leto and anyone he shares the screen with, Morbius.
I agree with that. I have specifically Jared and Matt Smith though for their
Okay.
bromance, brotherly relationship. Yeah, I think specifically them.
A callback to Interview with a Vampire is Mr. Razzie just hates vampires with any kind of lingering homoerotic undertones. Yeah, I don't know. I was like, there will be a Morbius nomination for sure. But I was like, is he going to do the two Jareds from Morbius? Is he going to
Yeah.
do Jared Leto and Matt Smith? Is he going to do Dr. Michael Morbius and Dr. Michaela Morbius? But I ended up just being like, okay, let's do the laziest, lowest effort, like
Hmm.
just Jared Leto and then a thing
Hmm.
person who isn't him. But yeah, 100% a Morbius nomination for sure. And then the Nile and the champagne it's filled with from Death on the Nile.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Uh,
That's thinking out the box. I like that.
um, Marilyn Monroe and any of the men from Blonde, or maybe Marilyn Monroe and all of the men. Again, it kind of it's a bit up in the air the degree to which he'll be creative, or if he'll just be like Marilyn Monroe and blank.
Yeah, yeah.
She's part of like a throuple with two guys, and I could see him being like them those are the worst screen. I guess it's combo rather than couple, so it even
Yeah,
could
well,
be
that's why
three.
I was thinking like combo. I was like, these can be very loose,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I struggled here because I'm not a Hollywood hack, but I agree with that. I think you've got to think outside the box. So like your obvious Harry Styles and Florence's are going to be out the window because it's going
Yeah.
to be these more abstract ones. But Blonde will probably pick them up. Yeah.
In terms of an actual one, I don't know how he's going to articulate it, but it'll be something like Ben Affleck and Ana de Armas, Deep Water, and Real Life.
Yep.
But that's too big a story for him not to
Not to.
seize on. And then finally, I have a callback to one of Mr. Razzie's favourite tendencies, which I know drives you up the wall: Tom Hanks and his accent, Elvis.
No, yeah, it doesn't fucking count. But that is a very good shout, and I never thought about that. I forgot about Elvis. I totally forgot about Elvis. Feels like an eternity ago.
Okay, over to you.
So yeah, my worst combo. I think it's going to be a Liam Neeson and any combination from his two films. I think he's going to get abstract with. I've forgotten what they were called, Blacklight or something. You said
Blacklight of Memory.
I'm going to go with Liam Neeson and his agent.
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah.
I have Jurassic World. I have both Chris Pratt and Dallas Howard, but I also have a secondary one with any of the originals coming back. Again, Sam Neill, like the phoned-in performances, they're definitely going to get picked up something. And then I have any combination of any actor from Amsterdam. So
that is a really good shout, actually. Yeah. Amsterdam's wild because everyone seems like they're kind of in their own film.
Sounds fun.
Yeah, maybe you'd love Amsterdam.
Maybe I would.
There's a lot of swings going on in Amsterdam, so maybe. And then, is this your favorite category at the Razzies?
What, the combo?
No, worst prequel, remake, ripoff, or sequel.
It usually is, yeah. Because I get annoyed at this. I get annoyed at everything, but yeah, if they are actually prequels, remakes, or reboots, and it's not this weird just giving another award to something that vaguely resembles another. Oh, it's a movie and it's 96 minutes, so it's a remake of another. Fuck off.
Deepwater is actually a remake of a 1960s sitcom.
Well, it's like it would be. So this is where I was thinking. Like this is when you can't call Morbius a ripoff of Blade or something.
No.
That's what he would do, though. He would 100% do it. So I've tried to keep
rip off
this
of
award.
Nosferatu.
Yes, I've tried to keep this as pure as I can. That is what genuinely is a remake and stuff. I love a sequel. I love a prequel. So yeah,
I've done the same. I don't have any nonsense nominations.
No.
I haven't done the Boss Baby vibes thing of Mr. Razzie watching a second movie, be getting a lot of Boss Baby vibes from this. So number one, haven't seen it, but heard lots of people tell me it's bad. Jeepers Creepers Reborn.
Yeah, I haven't seen it. I've seen the trilogy, the original trilogy, it's definitely a trilogy, and I just forgot about this. Don't think it got a release here for very long. I know it wasn't directed by the child molester. It had a different director, and it didn't have it. To me, it smelled like you get like the big Hellraiser reboot of last year. It's reminding me of the 10 other Hellraisers that I've seen before it, and that just disappear, even if they are theatrical. Like even Hellraiser 4 or something. It just felt like a cheap knockoff, really, or just a cash in. So I didn't want to go see it.
I'm curious. Feels like we should have spoken about this film before. I don't think you've seen it. Halloween Ends?
No, I haven't, because I didn't, and I've heard mixed things on Halloween Ends. I've some people that kind of know what I'm into and stuff do recommend it. Like, yes, like I don't know why. Maybe it's because maybe it's the Last Jedi of the Halloween series.
I think that was maybe Halloween Kills.
Yeah, well, I haven't. I mean, Rob Zombie killed off my interest in Halloween, and I love 1 and I love 3, and that's it.
Yeah.
And I've seen them. It's not my favorite slasher series. Again, like talk about the Hellraisers or Friday the 13th, Saws, all this shit. I'll watch anytime. Halloween is far too similar, the same fucking film over and over again. But Ends is a good shout.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I would recommend it to you because it is weird, but I don't think it's Kyle weird.
No.
And then we have Firestarter, which I agree with you. That's going to come up somewhere just because I don't think Mr. Razzie likes remakes of beloved 80s things. I actually thought if we still had score, he might have taken the opportunity to have a dig at John Carpenter.
Yes,
Um,
absolutely. Yeah, I agree with you there. I have Firestarter as well.
and then I have 365 Days because there were 2 of them out on Netflix last year.
Okay, so yeah, and I it's not eligible to me, so I haven't counted it. But
Despite the
that's
fact that it was...
I know. I'm trying to be. I don't know. And that's the Polish 50 Shades, isn't it? Or the
Yeah.
yeah.
Hey, baby girl.
Yeah. So I don't have that. I have instead. I have the winner's Pinocchio.
Yeah. I do
think
have
that's
one more because I put them as one nomination.
oh, okay. All right. Sorry, you could continue. Is it
My
Pinocchio?
final one, I don't think is Kyle eligible, but RIPD 2.
Oh, okay. I didn't even know there. Didn't know there was one.
Oh, look it up, because rather than Ryan Reynolds and Jeff Bridges, they have taken a bit of a downgrade.
Bit of a downgrade. No, that's fair. So yeah, I have Pinocchio as my winner here. I
Yeah,
have
good shout.
Jurassic World again as a proper sequel, and I also have a Fantastic Beasts 3 or 2, the whatever one the fuck it was called.
Yeah,
I don't
The
know the name
Secrets
of
of
it, I'm afraid.
Dumbledore.
That's it. I think I've not seen any of them. I'm just thinking in the obviously backlash against both Johnny Depp getting kicked off it and J.K. Rowling being J.K. Rowling and the sort of media around that. I
Yeah.
think it's going to get nominated for something. I don't think he's going to see it. I think this is what it's going to get nominated for. It's just going to be in here.
I did consider it, even like, I was like, is he going to do something insane like nominate Mads Mikkelsen? But Mads Mikkelsen isn't like a big enough name for him to be a target. So like, if he's going to do anything, it would probably be like Jude Law, I reckon.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I didn't nominate Pinocchio or Morbius because I was like, this is the category that also annoys you, where he like something will win and he won't nominate. It's like, oh, if Morbius won picture, why is it
Yeah.
not a shoe-in for... I just likes to throw recognition to some random film's way. So that was my kind of thinking there.
I've not seen it either. I don't even think it should be eligible, but I did see him tweet about it. Cheaper by the Dozen, the Disney Plus remake. Reboot.
Yeah.
No idea, no interest. I'm never going to watch it, so I've got no comment on it. This is just thinking if it's going to get one nomination, again, it'll be.
Yeah. Then we have worst screenplay, The Bubble.
Oh yeah.
Have you seen
no,
The Bubble?
No, I have not seen The Bubble. Again, I don't don't watch anything. How is it?
It's dreadful. And I say that with one of my friends worked on The Bubble, and it's like 3 hours long because it's a Judd Apatow movie. And it's just, it's interminable. It's 3 hours long, and I want to say like 2 hours 20 of that is TikTok dances. Because I was like, fuck's sake, Judd Apatow's daughter, why do you have to tell him about TikTok? Because we're just getting like the most boomer-esque nonsense.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know. It's just, it's like a ha ha ha. Famous entitled people making a movie during the pandemic starring a lot of like famous... It's like the Imagine video of films. It's just so misjudged, not funny, and just cringe. And then we have Blonde, which,
You've got the same. Worst screenplay. I again, not seen it, but I know that was a lot of the criticism was to the screenplay and the writing on it, so that's why I've picked it.
Elvis. I've gone hard on Elvis. I think he's not gonna like Elvis. And then Deep Water, and of course Morbius.
Yeah, so I have Morbius. I have Jurassic World again. I think it's gonna rack up nominations. I have Don't Worry, Darling again because it's gonna pick up another nomination. And my winner for worst screenplay is Amsterdam, which is again. Everyone says the acting's terrible because the directing's terrible, and the directing's terrible because the writing's terrible. And it's I read a review about it a while back, and it made me think of Shining Through with its it's wonderful to look at, great stages and sets. And
it's Chivo Lubeski. It looks incredible, but
it's just so that's why I was like thinking like that, and I think he'll have seen Amsterdam because it's smug enough that he'll have seen it. You'll look at the cat. Yeah, he's seen Amsterdam. It's gonna win.
Okay, interesting. And then let's go for the Razzie Redeemer Award.
Yes.
So I have Tom Cruise for Top Gun Maverick.
Yeah, same. hands down, I think Tom Cruise is going to walk away with this. I actually don't have any other ones because I thought this was such a
Yeah.
shoot-in. I don't think
Yeah.
there's maybe Razzie apologies and stuff like a Bruce Willis
Yeah.
style, but no redeeming. I think Tom Cruise is definitely going to pick that one up.
I agree. I think just purely of what's going to annoy me, I reckon he might nominate Brendan Fraser for The Whale.
Okay.
And you know how he does like the for, I don't know if he'll be like for being like sexually abused by the Hollywood Foreign Press Association. But I reckon he, like, I haven't looked up his Razzie pedigree because Encino Man, like I don't know if he personally has been nominated. I don't think so. Maybe for Furry
No.
Vengeance.
Maybe.
But like Encino Man, I think, did Encino Man even just pick up for Pauly Shore or Monkey Bone? Like, he's been in enough bad movies that I think Mr. Razzie will see it as his place to be like, you know what, Brendan?
I can see Monkey Bone. I can see Monkey Bone. Have we haven't. What's that? 2002. I don't think we've got to Monkey Bone.
Yeah,
yet,
we haven't
have
done
we?
the Monkey Bone years.
Yeah. So I didn't. That is a good shout, and I know it's the People's Redeemer, but you know, it's not. It's not like he's picked up the. I'm trying to think of the awards, and you know, we've come through the Tom Cruise. You know, he's just won one from Interview with the Vampire.
Yeah.
So I was like, this is going to be his. He's a winner as well. Like,
Yeah.
not a nominator. So, yeah, Tom Cruise.
And then I have one final one for you. Will Smith for Emancipation.
I thought this. I did think this, but I couldn't. I was like, I couldn't be bothered to look up what Will Smith had won Razzies for.
Well, he won the Redeemer last year.
Oh, okay.
For King Richard.
There you go. So yeah, he can't redeem himself twice. He can't redeem himself for King Richard.
I think he won the Redeemer for King Richard, lost it for the slap the very next day, and then Emancipation's going to be like, you know what, Will? You've learned. You've atoned.
You've atoned.
Come on back.
Fair. I only have a note as well. I was like, Jericho's Razzie Redeemer is Kevin Smith for Clerks 3.
Absolutely not. No. I did have, so that's in our other business category of like things that won't get included in the Razzies but should. And I was like, Clerks 3 should absolutely be picking up nominations in any sane world. And then I was like, if there was a bit more of a British bent, then there's of course the Nan movie.
The Nan movie,
awful.
Which is, you know, it's something we're going to come to in the future when we get to our terrible British fucking TV movies. So, but I did think of this as well. These outsiders almost that were never going to get picked up. I had Rob Zombie's The Munsters.
Oh yeah.
Which I was like might have fallen into like the remake and prequel category, but I don't think Mr. Razzie's seen it. I don't think
it's hitting his sitcom. It's hitting his like TV adaptation notes though.
I just don't think I don't know if it got a theatrical release.
It didn't. No.
And I don't think Mr. Razzie's seen it, and I don't think it's going to take it. You know, who gives a shit about Rob Zombie or the Munsters anymore? Maybe like
Mr. Razzie. That's
maybe an old boomer that doesn't have a fucking clue. Maybe, but I was thinking like that. I was like with Clerks and some of the other ones that were a little bit on the outside. These might have picked them up, but I don't have much else than that.
Okay, and then the made up bullshit 1 year off, the one off award for that. I have the Johnny Depp Amber Heard award for Crimes Against Humanity. Johnny Depp and Amber Heard.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, I was thinking of something like that. I was going to go with Spitgate, like you were saying. I think just to keep it all neat and tidy and everything.
Yeah.
Winning it, then yeah. But I agree with it. I think that's an okay shout.
And then, of course, I don't think he's going to go for it, but the other possibility, I was like, what might make me really mad is if he's like, Worst Pinocchio of the Year award. Robert Zemeckis' Pinocchio. Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio for some reason because it makes a good narrative. Yeah. And Pauly Shore's Pinocchio.
Yeah, no, fuck that. You could give Tom Kenny in a Pinocchio movie award out of 2, but no. I can imagine Pinocchios are all going to get tied up. He has not seen the Pauly Shore one. I haven't seen the Pauly Shore one. I just don't see it happening. But I again, for the narrative, the way it writes out, I can see that happening.
Okay, so that covers that covers this half, I think. There's nothing else you want to...
No, I don't really have anything else. I was trying to think of, I know it's not here anymore, but I was trying to think of worst original song or worst score. But they don't exist anymore. No one fucking makes original songs anymore. There's a few scores I really disliked, but again, it's not going to happen, despite it being a good category. Morbius would probably win it anyway. So, what does it matter?
They should have got Eminem back to do another song like how we did for Venom. He should have done the Morbius theme, the closing credits theme.
I know, it's fucking right, you should have. Rob Zombie should have done the Monsters new theme song or something. Kevin Smith should have sung Clerks 3 title theme.
Okay, well, that concludes this half, and we will see you in a few moments for you, days later for us, when the Razzie nominations are going to be out, and we're going to be able to see how right or how wrong we were.
Yeah, and you know what? I'm trying to think like him, but we could be way off here.
We could be really way off, yeah.
Depending on the way the votes go, I guess, could change things, but yeah, it'll be exciting to see though.
Welcome back to part 2. It is now Tuesday, and the Razzie nominations have been out for one day. So, first order of business, I of course said we will build up to the Worst Picture nominees and then promptly forgot them.
Yep.
So let's get that out of the way.
Absolutely.
And yeah, this is going to be slightly rushed through because obviously the nominations are out now, so certain things you don't want to linger on. Worst Picture, I have Morbius.
Yep, I have Morbius as well.
Covered on our special.
Yeah, have a listen.
Yeah, I have My Son Hunter.
Which I don't have because...
You don't think it's eligible?
It's not eligible, it's not. And he has... Mr. Razzie hasn't seen it. So, although it's probably the worst film out of any of these films, it's not going to win anything.
Yeah. And then I have Blonde.
Which I also have. As we've seen by spoiling and seeing the nominations for this year, Blonde is heavily nominated. It's going to be dunked on pretty hard. So yeah, it was a no-brainer even when we were thinking about it.
Yeah. He hates any kind of artistic ambition, doesn't he? He just wants a world of Marvel movies, does Mr. Razzie. And then I have both 365 Days.
Which I never even heard of, so I do not have them here.
Well, you don't think they're eligible.
They're not eligible.
And then I have They/Them, the horror movie with Kevin Bacon.
Yeah, which I do remember.
It's like a gay conversion camp or something.
But I have no idea about it. I've not seen it. So my other nominations I think Jurassic World, I was going to say Domination, but Dominion, which I think is going to get a lot of nominations.
Yeah.
Not many wins, but I think it's going to get a lot of nominations. Yeah. Don't Worry Darling was my other one.
Good shot.
And finally I had Pinocchio, the Robert Zemeckis one, not Del Toro's.
Pinocchio, holy smokio.
Yeah, so let's see how well we get.
So yeah, off we go. So the nominations were released, and we have, as predicted, Blonde. Mm-hmm. So yeah, this was kind of inevitable.
Yes. It was going to be a nomination. After seeing how many nominations it's got, I'm putting that as my front runner to win Worst Picture. I think it's going to double the fact to try and get Brad Pitt a Razzie as well for producing it. Yeah, Blonde is... I've not seen it. I'm going to watch it though. Like, it's Andrew Dominic. I'm going to get around to it someday. It took me years to see anything that wasn't Assassination, so...
Don't watch it in case it wins, and then you have to
watch it again. That's true, actually. Yeah. Well, I'll bite my tongue for that.
Wait until the Razzies are done. I agree with you. I'm fairly confident the winner will be one of two.
Yes.
And I think it could be... I think you're right, and it could be Blonde. And what you were saying to me the other day was that you think he's a simp.
Yes. I mean, it's going to come up as we go through the nominations, and I'll give you my theory why here. But he has seen it. I do believe he has seen Blonde at least.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's my winner. Unfortunately, I don't want it to be...
I think he likes the meta narrative of like Blonde's about Marilyn Monroe being abused by like the predatory Hollywood industry, and he's trying to do the same thing with Anna de Armas of like, oh, the bad man Dominic put you in this terrible film. Don't you worry, Anna. I won't let him. I won't nominate you. I'm a good guy. And yeah, like the case for Blonde I would say, is that he doesn't like to go back to the well, as we've covered.
Yeah.
Like, Sandman only ever wins once. There's only one animated movie. There's only Stallone only ever wins once, doesn't he?
For worst actor? Or
No, picture.
Rambo.
There's only the one, yeah.
I believe it's on. And that's, there's films of Stallone's that are theatrical that do deserve to win this, like 100%.
Yeah, Stop or My Mom Will Shoot.
But we'll go into that in the next episode when we get to it. Whatever episode we get to Rambo.
So I reckon there'll be other opportunities to get Jared Leto with Tron 3 and...
Don't say it. Sign the petition. Get him off.
He's kind of done...
Not my Jeff Bridges.
He's kind of done superhero movies with Catwoman, and there will be many an opportunity to do them in the future. So whereas Blonde, there's not going to be another Blonde, so I can see him perhaps seizing on that. And then we have Good Morning, the Machine Gun Kelly film.
Yeah, the stoner comedy, which I had not even heard about.
Are we still making stoner comedies in 2023?
Everyone, your granny can go get high now.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
maybe culture, epic weed culture, dank weed, woo.
Seth Rogen hasn't been out of a job for years, isn't he?
Kevin Smith's doing weed now. And then we have The King's Daughter, which have you heard of?
I had not even heard about this one. I know now it's Pierce Brosnan because I clicked on it. So I was kind of surprised I'm not a Brosnan mark at all. I would have thought just off its title it was a Kingsman kind of deal, or a Kingsman, or whatever the fuck they're called now. And Brosnan would be putting that role of a spy. Apparently I'm completely off base.
Yeah, it's a fascinating story. I'm kind of surprised that we've not heard of it, because like both of us are relatively interested in film, and we've not seen this, and like all the stuff about it. So it was in development hell for 5 years. It was actually shot. It was intended to be released in 2015. It was shot in 2014. Yeah. Shot almost a decade ago.
Yeah.
It was William Hurt's final screen performance to be released before his death in March.
Wouldn't have been his final performance though.
No, well, William Hurt only died last year. I got confused and I was thinking John Hurt for a second, who's been dead for probably closer to 10 years. But yeah, this is such a bizarre film. It looks like an Asian co-production, I would guess, just based off some of the names of the producers. James Shamu script. It's very bizarre, like a period drama. It's yeah.
It did say there though it was theatrically released, so it is eligible.
Okay.
So I'm giving it that. So far so good. But that, I'm assuming Good Morning came out in the cinema, so 3 out of 3 so far.
Yeah, there you go. And then we have Morbius, Done to Death, and Pinocchio, as you said.
Yeah, which again I said before I watched it, said previously that it's soulless, hollow, but it isn't. It's not even the worst of these Disney remakes. It's not Lion King bad or anything. It still has some differences, so you're not watching a shot-for-shot remake. It's got weird Zemeckis-isms, I guess, in it as well.
Yeah.
Weird performances at times, but it's not Razzie worthy. And I don't even think it had a theatrical run either. I thought it was straight to Disney Plus.
It would have been their usual thing of like they'd have played it in the El Capitan in LA just so it qualified for Oscars.
Okay,
but I don't think.
And I could be wrong, but I'm sure it was one of the first just to be straight to streaming, like Mulan.
Like you couldn't see it in this country, but like I'm sure it probably had like the smallest theatrical release it could have, just playing the Room thing, just playing in order to be awards.
So I disagree, but then on that, I disagree with these choices, but at least of all are eligible in my eyes. So that's enough for me.
He's improving.
That's it. Just a bit by bit.
You're in the lead as far as predictions go, because you've got 3 out of 5, whereas I only had 2 out of 5.
I'll get into the mindset of a hack,
the Razzie mindset. So you're going for Blonde, the winner.
Blonde's my winner.
I'm torn. I'm gonna say Morbius just to keep it different.
Just to keep it different.
Yeah.
And then there's still a chance it could be Morbius. Blonde could sweep 9 out of 10 nominations or whatever it's got, but I'm confident it's going to be Blonde.
Yeah, I'm worried the absence for Ana de Armas, because if you don't give it to her, then everything's a bit of a if Mr. Razzie wants the big sort of the big like headline moment, it's either picture or actress, and you can't give it to her, so it has to be the film. And then worst director, we have Judd Apatow for The Bubble.
Oh yeah, I thought, fuck, I did forgot even looking at these nominations that The Bubble was in here. You seen The Bubble, didn't you?
I saw The Bubble, yeah. I had The Bubble for screenplay, but I didn't have it for director, annoyingly. But we know Judd Apatow tendency to make things way too long, and The Bubble is way too long, and 50% of its runtime is TikTok dances. Yes. So fair enough. Andrew Dominic for Blonde. Both of us had him as a prediction. Both of us admire him a great deal and think this was undeserved. Me having seen the film, you not having seen the film. And then we have Daniel Espinosa, Morbius. Could have seen that coming a mile away. Machine Gun Kelly and Maud Sun for Good Morning. I didn't realise Machine Gun Kelly directed.
He's not sure. He directs, produces, stars. He's man of many talents.
Yeah, the new Orson Welles. And then Robert Zemeckis for Pinocchio. Yeah, so again, are you on 3 out of 5?
I'm on 3 out of 5 here as well, yeah.
Wow, you're kicking me all over the shop here. I'm on 2 out of 5. Wasted Robert David.
On the winner, though, for this, I had Zemeckis was my first prediction to win.
Yeah, you're changing.
I'm changing it to Dominic.
Yeah.
I think that's going to be... These are the two big ones for Blonde are going to win.
I'm saying Dominic as well. He's Dominic takes the most swings, and Mr. Razzie isn't going to like that, and he wants to... That could be his in with Ana de Armas. It's like, listen, Ben's a bad man. Do you know that I gave Ben a Razzie years ago for Jiggly? Well, I give him one for Andrew. It's for you, it's all for you.
It's something I've spoke about before in my quest to get a Razzie. So even looking at the people that have collected, a lot more women have collected it. I don't think he's contacting men and giving out his Razzies. So, there could have been a little slide in there if he gave it to Darmas to, come and collect it personally at my Hollywood mansion. Don't worry, I stopped, it's all over now from Hollywood's a safe place now.
These are some dark allegations we're making now, particularly if you're still angling to get this guy on the podcast. One thing to be like, you're a talentless hack. Another thing to...
I don't want him. I want a Razzie. I don't want Mr. Razzie.
Okay. Worst actor, Pete Davidson as Marmaduke. In Marmaduke.
In Marmaduke, which is not a theatrical release, as far as I'm aware. So straight to bin, I believe.
Yeah.
Is his voice as well? No. I disagree with this one. I'm not seeing Marmaduke, but I don't think it's eligible.
Yeah, okay, fair enough.
I also don't have it, so...
I don't think Pete Davidson's that good. I don't like Pete Davidson.
No, I'm not a fan of Pete Davidson, but voicing Marmaduke in Marmaduke, a straight-to-trash video-on-demand film, just doesn't count for me.
And then we have Tom Hanks in Pinocchio as Geppetto. So he's not great, but nor is he a lead.
Yeah, well, that's it. I have him in my worst supporting actor category as we went through.
Oh, yeah.
Because he's a supporting character in it. He's not great in it. He is enthusiastic.
Yeah, he's just phoning in the standard charismatic Tom Hanks.
Yeah, he's not the worst part of the film either.
Yeah.
I personally wouldn't nominate. Tom Hanks isn't the worst part of it for me.
No, Pinocchio's way worse.
Pinocchio's worse. Even Gordon Levitt's...
How dare you?
No, because again, I watched it straight after Del Toro's one. It's not. It's not a great performance for me.
I think he's great.
You're the simp for
I am. I'll be happily. I love Don John. When's he going to give us a follow up? Then we have Machine Gun Kelly in Good Morning as London Clash.
Which. No idea.
Is he playing like a Joe Strummer? Like what's?
Well, it sounds like that. London Clash. I mean, no idea. But I don't have him, so he's not winning it.
Jared Leto in Morbius as Dr. Michael Morbius. Yeah, done to death. And of course, you got this. You called it.
So fucking happy with this one.
Sylvester Stallone in Samaritan as Joe Smith / Samaritan / Nemesis.
Yeah, exactly.
Three roles.
3 roles. No, not a chance. As it goes through these this is the only nomination for Samaritan, so it's obviously just a dig at Stallone.
Yeah.
Samaritan is not eligible. It's an Amazon movie with no theatrical release. This is just to get back at Stallone. Stallone, again, I haven't finished the film, I will finish it, is playing that. You seen that? Did you watch Last Blood, the last Rambo film? You ever see that?
Did, yeah.
It's that performance. It's the grumpy old...
Yeah, grizzled. Yeah, grizzled. Half-assed, yeah.
But it's not terrible. It's not like, he's 70 years old. He does...
Yeah.
It's not bad. But yeah, I'm glad to call it. My winner here, though, I'm going to stick with is Jared Leto.
Yeah.
This is the first Morbius guaranteed one that's coming home. Tom Hanks, was my winner in supporting actor, so this is kind of throwing me off a little bit. But I'm sticking with Jared. He's going to bring this bad boy home.
Yeah, same. We kind of covered this on the specials of I thought when I thought it might be eligible, I thought that My Son Hunter would win picture, but Jared Leto was always going to be a lock for actor for me.
So I have 2 out of 5 there in mine.
And I only have 1.
I'm running away with it here.
Yeah. And then we have worst actress. So Ryan Keira Armstrong, Firestarter as Charlene Charlie McGee. So he's rightly got a lot of heat for this because this is fucking obscene. She's like, I don't know how old she is, but this is like a child.
Yeah.
This is like a 12-year-old child. Yeah, so yeah, she's 12 years old.
Which is fucking ridiculous. You can't punch him down on a 12-year-old.
Like, this is just like...
It's more insulting to put her as worst actress than worst new star or something.
Exactly.
That's like, who gives a fuck award? That's not going to get picked up in the media.
But to be like the leading, that's just
you can torture, pun intended, you could torture a career before it's even gotten started.
Yeah, this is just absolute fucking nonsense. Like, to be 1 year on from like the Bruce Willis and like, as we covered in the Emoji episodes, bullshit like, the industry where people are thrived and recognized, and you're nominating a 12-year-old.
Yeah.
Like, fuck off, Mr. Razzie. Like, there's no need for that. And she's also fine. Yeah. Like, she's not even... Like, I saw Firestarter. I wouldn't say she's even bad. No. Like, she's... Like, even if they're dreadful, even if they're, like, I don't know, The Kid in Troll 2 or whatever you think the worst, like, child actor performances, even if they are that bad, like, there's still, like, I don't know, maybe, like... But for her to be the first name on worst actress, like, how on earth? Like, what? It's just insane. Like, one of the most insane things he's done, and just fuck you, Mr. Razzie. Like, just invalidate the entire awards. Yep. Like, this is nonsense. This is an old man just what did she ever do to you? Exactly, yeah.
Hollywood's maybe a safe space that you've created, Mr. Razzie, that you can nourish and flourish people now, and you can't even do this for a young child actress.
But I don't know, Mr. Razzie went on like a first date to Firestarter, the original, and for some reason has it out for this remake, and like there has to be some personal thing why he's getting so annoyed at just like a standard child performance. Fucking nonsense. And then we have Bryce Dallas Howard for Jurassic World Dominion as Claire Deering.
Which I called. I thought she'd pick this one up. So again, I'm getting in the mindset. With Anna de Armas missing out big time here. Yeah. I thought she was a shoe-in for 2 roles. Like I said before, Blonde and Deepwater. Yeah. I'm glad Dallas Howard's here because...
Otherwise it would have been a wash.
It would have been an absolute fucking wash, yeah.
And then we have Diane Keaton in Mac and Rita as Mackenzie McMartin / Rita.
Which I've not even heard about. I don't think Mr. Razzie's seen this either. I think he was struggling to fill out the roles.
He was just like a child.
A child and Diane Keaton and Dallas Howard done. Like
the film follows a 30-year-old woman who wakes up as her 70-year-old self after a bachelorette party. Not gonna lie, I would be kind of interested in that. Like you get all the 17 agains, 13 going on 30s.
Yeah, the Zac Efron and stuff, isn't it?
But like I don't know, you rarely go the other way, do you? It's big, I guess. It's just pensioner big.
It's just pensioner big, yeah.
But I don't know, maybe I'll watch that. And then we have Kaya Scodelario for The King's Daughter as Marie Youssef. So, do you have any knowledge of her?
No. I do remember from Skins. I remember F.A. from Skins, but like that's 15 years ago now.
Well, this movie was basically shot 15 years ago.
Yeah, so she's going to be younger as well then, isn't she? Like,
It's so funny speaking to Darren Doan and hearing from him the procedure of winning a Razzie, which is basically you find out when a friend texts you saying like you heard you've been nominated. Imagine her getting
every
like
single winner.
Oh yeah, you've been nominated for a film that you shot like 5 years ago. Oh cool.
Oh, but no, of course he fucking contacts Halle Berry personally and wants her to come to the awards.
Fucking sim.
He's not gonna. Screw this boy.
Why you want a 12-year-old girl to attend your awards, Mr. Razzie? Okay, no. We need to get this back.
And I'm the one that's giving the allegations.
Then we have Alicia Silverstone in The Requin?
The Requin?
The Requin appears to be some kind of shark.
It looks like
the Meg.
The Meg, that's the one.
Jaws, yeah.
Is it Jaws 4? Yeah, I have never even heard of this film. I don't even remember seeing it in theaters or advertised anywhere. So yeah, no comment.
And then moving on, so we'll just say, so you got 1 out of 5 there. I got 0. Wow. Because none of my gambles paid off.
I'm also gonna give the winner to Dallas Howard just because that's the only one I got right.
Yeah.
And I surely won't give it to a 12-year-old or maybe Alicia Silverstone because that's quite. No, I'm sticking with Dallas Howard.
I'm gonna say Kaya Scodelario. Honestly, if he does give it to that child, like, I don't know. I think we just end the podcast.
We invite her on and we let her redeem. She can have a rant about Mr. Razzie.
Yeah. And then we have Worst Supporting Actor, Pete Davidson, Good Morning as Barry.
Again, double billing it. You're given, you're wanting, rightfully so, to come down on Davidson. I'm not the biggest fan of Pete, but this is, I don't know why he's in it. I assume he's just Pete Davidson.
Yeah.
Just like he would be in Marmaduke.
He doesn't have any nominations this year. He doesn't have any double nominations this year. It kind of feels like Mr. Razzie is phoning it in recently. Yeah. Like, in days gone by, he would have been like Pete Davidson. He'd have crammed them into the same, like, it would be Marmaduke and Good Morning. Yeah. He'd be like, fuck the size of the roles. It's joint. But, yeah, whereas he's spreading things a bit more... spreading the same things, the same characters more thinly. Mm-hmm. Speaking of which, perfect example, Tom Hanks, Elvis as Colonel Tom Parker. So I had Tom Hanks for Pinocchio and Elvis.
Yeah, well, I just have Tom Hanks with no one, because I forgot about Elvis, but I'm counting it.
No, I'm not letting you have that. I need to take this back. We'll replay the episode, because I'm sure you said, I forgot about Elvis. Yeah, so you can't. No, you need the role. But yeah, makes sense. I just want to get mad about the category fraud thing here. So it helps that Elvis is like 3 hours long and Pinocchio is maybe 90 minutes. But he is in, like, Elvis is kind of told through his eyes. Like, he's in Elvis way more than he's in Pinocchio. Mm-hmm. He's never the lead in Pinocchio because that's Pinocchio. And granted, you might say Elvis is the lead in Elvis. But, like, he is a bigger part of Elvis than he is in Pinocchio. Yeah. So it's a fucking nonsense to have him in lead as Pinocchio. Who's the lead actor in Pinocchio? Oh, I think it's his dad who's there at the beginning and then spends the rest of the film in a whale.
I think it's the whale.
Then we have Javier Samuel in Blonde as Charles Cass Chaplin Jr. Yeah, he was fine. I like Blonde. Not going to hear...
no nomination for me then.
Maud Sun, Good Morning as Dylan. That's the co-director. I'm assuming Maud Sun is another... Yeah.
Singer, songwriter, rapper.
Exactly, yeah. Then we have Evan Williams as Edward G. Eddie Robinson Jr. in Blonde. Not going to have that. Blonde is impeccably acted.
Well, I'm sticking with Tom Hanks as the winner, but it's a clean sweep for no fucking noms. I got this one.
Well, yeah, Since
you've stolen it from me.
I only got one, so I think he's gonna go for Tom Hanks.
Yeah, Tom Hanks.
And yeah, so Amsterdam's been a wash. Don't Worry, Darling's also been a wash.
Yeah,
this is the Harry Styles category.
This is when I thought Harry Styles was not guaranteed it, but he was...
I'd have thought he was, knowing what we know about Mr. Razzie loving narratives and like him hating teenage girls. We'd have thought that's how I'll rile people.
No Army Hammer is the biggest surprise, and Matt Smith from Morbius I thought was absolutely good, because I like Matt Smith, but I hated him in Morbius. I thought he was a shoe-in, but oh well, fuck it. Apparently Blonde's worse.
We're really just blowing our credibility as any kind of Razzie authority here, aren't we? Worst supporting actress, Adria Arjona in Morbius as Martine Bancroft, aka Dr. Michaela Morbius. And yeah, we've covered her. So bad that you couldn't even remember her. Oh, he does have a double nomination. Fan Bingbing for the 355 and The King's Daughter.
There we go.
As Lin Mi Sheng and The Mermaid. There's a mermaid in The King's Daughter. Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, haven't seen it, can't comment. Lorraine Bracco in Pinocchio as Sophia.
But,
that's the sequel, isn't it? Yeah.
You're scraping the bottom of the barrel here. You cannot think of you can't name 8 actresses that were in a movie, so fuck it, Lorraine Bracco's getting one.
This is what we always touch on, is he's kind of like where like he's a little bit sexist in the way that women often get boosted up from worst supporting actress to lead, and it's like, are there genuinely not enough female-led films, or do you just not think of when you cut out all the women that you're simping for? It's like, okay, well, but yeah, that's a nonsense. That is honestly just ridiculous. Is this another one going back?
Yeah, it is.
Lorraine Bracco.
We've talked about her before.
Yeah, he's got some vendetta against her for some reason. Oh my god. And then Penelope Cruz, the 355 as Graciela Rivera, and then we have Mira Sorvino in Lamborghini, the man behind the legend, as Anita.
Again, he has not watched Lamborghini. He's not picked up the only bad thing I didn't like about this film was Mira Sorvino's performance. He cannot name 8 actresses. He hasn't fucking watched, fucking hell. But anyway, I only have one winner, and that's Adria Arjona, or however you pronounce it, for Morbius.
Yeah.
It's the only one I have.
Same, this is a tie for us. We both just had her, and I also think she's going to win.
Yeah.
Worst screen combo. Both real-life characters in the fallacious White House bedroom scene, blonde. So I don't want to spoil that for you. Andrew Dominic and his issues with women.
Holy shit.
Blonde.
Fucking hell. Strange that blonde's got 2 in the worst screen combo as well. Makes me think one of these are guaranteed to win it. But
for sure.
The next one maybe throws off.
Ooh, yeah. Tom Hanks and his latex-laden face and ludicrous accent. So, I would like to point you to my predictions for worst screen combo: Tom Hanks and his accent, Elvis.
Which is so you got that point there. I think that might be the winner. It could be a blonde, but I think Tom Hanks and his accent would probably be the winner.
Yeah.
I can't remember. I don't have my screen combos down here because I think I just made them up when we were doing part 1, which was an eternity ago.
Yeah.
But I'm going to stick with Tom Hanks for the winner here.
Yeah. Machine Gun Kelly and Maud Sun, Good Morning.
Which is the first one that's a genuine screen combo.
Yeah.
So at least it's a relatively worthy, even if I'm not seeing it and it might be good, it's an actual nomination that makes sense.
And then the 2 365 Days sequels, the 365 Days 365 Days this day and the next 365 Days, which... I don't know, I could have maybe got that if I'd been more in the Razzie mindset. I
wouldn't have got that because it's a stupid fucking nomination because they're not on screen together.
Well, I was like, I didn't have them for like...
If you overlay them on the same screen, maybe.
I had them for worst picture and worst prequel, remake, ripoff, or sequel.
Absolutely.
Because I was like, I know he's going to condense these into 2, but I didn't make the jump to they'll then be the worst screen combo because this is nonsense. We have like the real life characters and made up scene. We have a director and his issues with women, which I'd say Andrew Dominic probably has less issues with women than you do, Mr. Razzie, given he's not nominating 12-year-old girls. Tom Hanks and his makeup, Tom Hanks and his face and his accent.
Yeah.
2 actual guys and then 2 movies.
Yeah.
What an insane category. Okay, and then we have worst remake ripoff. Oh, sorry, just to go back, I'm going to say Dominic's going to win. That's my prediction.
Well, I'll go with Tom Hanks. I'll stick with Hanks to give it variety.
Worst remake, ripoff, or sequel: Blonde, which... What is that a ripoff of?
Was that a ripoff, a remake, or a sequel or something?
No, it's not.
There is a note there. What does the note say?
Oh, here we go.
Oh, drum roll.
Consider a remake of Blonde, a 2001 mini-series. Okay, so they're both adapted from Joyce Carol Oates' book.
Okay, no, well, I'll count that then. It's begrudging, but there is a reason. He hasn't just pulled it right out his fucking ass. He wanted to give Blonde another nomination because he's a fucking hack.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I agree with that. Like, I don't agree with it. I agree with it being eligible.
Yeah. Okay, 365 days this day and the next 365 days. Yeah.
It counts as a rip-off and a sequel, so
yeah.
Fair.
Firestarter.
Yeah.
Jurassic World Dominion and Pinocchio. Hard one to call this.
It is a very hard one.
Well, we'll just look at who got the.
Again, I pulled this category out my ass, so I'd have to go back.
I got 2 out of 5 with Firestarter and the 365
I would have
Days.
had Jurassic World and Pinocchio at least.
Oh, I was about to give myself the win. I was like, Kyle, you...
Because I've got Jurassic World consistently.
For everything.
Yeah, I've got that throughout.
You do. You went for Dominion and Pinocchio, so yeah, it's probably a tie if I'm honest.
It's a hard one to actually call, though. It feels hard not just to say Blonde because...
Yeah.
But then he's also got this hate boner for Firestarter.
Yeah.
Oh, just take my pick. I'm going to go with... I think Pinocchio's going to bring one home.
Yeah. I'm tempted to go for Firestarter, but a part of me says that both 365 days is...
Yeah.
That's what I'm going for. And then we have the final category, worst screenplay.
Yeah.
So, Blonde, screenplay by Andrew Dominic, based on the novel by Joyce Carol Oates. You haven't seen it, I guess.
I do have it nominated, though.
Yeah. I had Blonde.
Yep.
I don't know. I don't think it's a bad screenplay. Like, you can object to what it's doing, but like, I don't know. Who knows? We'll find out when we do our 2022 episode on Blonde.
Yeah, I'm excited for that. I watched an Andrew Dominic film, not a fucking Mochi movie. I can't wait.
Yeah, if Blonde won, would it be the best Razzie winner? It might be my favourite, actually, I think.
It would be the best movie, I would imagine. It may not be the one I enjoy the most, but
yeah,
I can imagine that.
And then we have Good Morning, written by Machine Gun Kelly and Maud Sun. Yeah, I can't imagine a Machine Gun Kelly script would be great. Jurassic World Dominion, screenplay by Emily Carmichael and Colin Trevorrow, story by Colin Trevorrow and Derek Connolly. Did you have that for screenplay?
Yes, I do. I've got...
Oh, god damn it.
Cover my bases.
Yeah. And then we have Morbius, screen story and screenplay by Matt Sazama and Burke Sharpless.
Doesn't sound like a real name, does it?
Yeah, Burke Sharpless. Dracula Untold. So there.
Yeah.
Listen to this: Dracula Untold, The Last Witch Hunter, Gods of Egypt, and Morbius. Yeah. That is bleak. And then we have Pinocchio,
which I don't have a screenplay.
Okay.
So I got Blonde, Morbius, and Jurassic World out here. But I didn't pick Pinocchio just because it's too similar to the 1941. Yeah. It does have the differences, obviously. But I was like, if you're ripping on that, you're giving them too much credit. Yeah, Kyle. I know. So I'm going to go with Blonde winning this one, though. I'm going with... We've seen how annoyed he's got at the fallacious White House scene, so I think he might get annoyed at some of the... I think he might get really mad at some of the creative leaps taken by Blonde, but I'm going to play it conservative. I'm going to place my faith in Morb and hope that Dr. Michael Morbius shines upon us and saves me. I'm saying Morbius. Because when we watched that and did that episode, we were sure it was going to sweep, Yeah. I never thought in a million years that Blonde would be leading the nominations. By quite a bit as well. Yeah. Like 3 more nominations than Morbius. Morbius is a 4th 8 more than My Son Hunter. Like, it basically, it just comes down to the degree to which there is an academy versus just there being Mr. Razzie. Yeah. Like, if it is just him, then I think we're way more open to... These were voted for, because you can get your VIP. Yeah. But again, what his actual decision... There's no way that maybe the whole academy or whatever are clamoring to... The group of sickos he's assembled that were dying to nominate a 12-year-old girl. Yeah, I think the more this is just down to Mr. Razzie's prejudices, the more likely it is that Blonde wins, so he can sidle up down the Armas and put an arm around her shoulder and be like, there, it's okay. But I think if there is any element of popular vote, Morbius is taking this. Yes. So let's hope. It could be, 2 people voting though. It could be him just voting by himself. He's the only one willing to pay for it. Listen, we need to get Mike Lindell in to audit the Razzies. I'm hearing about these machines with all these pre-stamped blonde ballots going in. When I get in contact with Lindell to see if he got contacted about his Razzie, so I can deliver it and get it to him, get the thing he deserves, like, I'm gonna, fuck him. I don't know if he's gonna spring this on us, but we don't have any bullshit made up category. Well, it's going to be a bullshit made up category for, when there's no competition. It'll be, again, like we've covered before, the ones you can specifically make just to
Yeah, so
that you can't nominate. You can't have nominations for worst film based on Marilyn Monroe or something.
Yeah, so they might pull something like that on the night, and also there's no Redeemer,
which is a big one. And we both had the same Redeemer before, didn't we? Had Top Gun Maverick. And I'm still sticking with that. There's other ones, like The Whale was a good shout, but I'm gonna stick with Top Gun because Tom Cruise is still much more of a Razzie star than Brendan. So I'm gonna stick with that. If it pops up, if it doesn't, and
I just think he's genuinely forgotten. I think it's not gonna happen. Well, I think he's just like
worst original song. He just forgets about them. And, I need to.
Well, he did the best of the decades. Remember, like they would do the decades one. He just randomly stopped doing that. So Razzie Redeemer is just gonna be another dead category that just drifts out of being. So there you go.
Yeah. So
very much diminished credibility after this episode, but I know you've done all right. You've done consistently got 2 out of 5. It takes a hack to know a hack.
There's a few. I mean, the blonde sweeping is throwing me off. I'm glad I covered it because I know the backlash was gonna be there. I didn't think Marmaduke would be popping up, and I never even heard of Good Morning and The King's Daughter and stuff like this. Mac and Rita, these are all totally under my radar.
See, we need to spend more time just like sprawling through the bargain bucket, because I tried to do that with the Liam Neeson and the Ashley Greene things, and I tried to do that with the Vanessa Redgrave. I was like, the older actors who would star in a movie that you've never heard of. But that's kind of down.
Well, even on that note, though, like Liam Neeson not getting nominated is a mighty fucking big surprise.
Yeah.
Pete Davidson's voice in Marmaduke can be there, but but then he hasn't seen them. He's so fuck him.
Yeah. And on that note, if you have enjoyed our podcast, then please leave us a review on iTunes. Yeah.
Let us know who you think is going to win as well, if you've got time before the winners are announced. When's the winners come out?
Oh, it's March the 12th. Plenty of time. We'll have many episodes in between now and then.
And if there's anything that Mr. Razzie's missed that you really think is outrageous, let us know, because he's a fucking hack, like we've said, and there's probable roles and stuff that we've thought of, and if we were both trying to think like him and also try and cover your bases for bad movies, the Liam Neesons and stuff of the world. Plane isn't eligible, was it? That's too recent.
That's not this year.
Yeah. So, but anyway, if there's any ones that we've missed or Mr. Razzie's missed, please let us know.
Yeah, get in touch with your thoughts. You can email us at watchingworstfilms@gmail.com, and you can find us on social media. So if that's more your thing, because who uses email these days, then we are Watching Worst on all the big social platforms. So hit us up there, slide in our DMs, and give us your thoughts.
Yeah, absolutely. And before we go, what have we got for next week?
So next week we are breaking with scheduled programming yet again, as we have got an exclusive interview lined up for you. We are speaking to Darren Doan, the multiple Razzie winning director of Saving Christmas.
Yeah.
The interview's in the can. I feel like we'll just let you behind the curtain there. We've recorded that, and we had a great time speaking to him.
Yep.
And we covered all areas of Razzie history, and he was a really interesting guy to speak to.
So. And it's something that gives us a little bit more legitimacy about this podcast as well. A 2-time winner personally, his film picked.
Oh yeah, I've completely blown this because I mentioned that we spoke to him earlier on. So there you go. That's why we know what it's like to win a Razzie, because we've spoken to a winner.
The recordings have been all over the place, so they've thrown me off as well.
Absolutely, we're living outside time and space at the moment.
So we'll be back on track. We will get back on track.
So join us next week, next Tuesday, when we're bringing you our interview with Darren Doan, director and writer and star of Saving Christmas.
See you then, guys.